for the prince that was promised to finally be crowned PRX, your Masters Toronto champions.
PRX finally did it. They finally won an international tournament. And we are going to take a look at how they managed to do that later on in the video. But first, I want to talk about kind of a personal anecdote with PRX and their relationship with this channel in particular. Because it is quite an interesting, unique relationship that this channel shares with PRX, essentially. So, to understand just how long of a journey this has been for PRX, I went back and found the first video that I ever made about PRX, okay? Which was this one. They're playing against Xersha here. It's a 10-hour VOD. 10-hour VOD. I have no idea what happened. Massive tech pause if I had to guess. I mean, my hair is a mess. I'm in the first room that I ever recorded in. I've been in about 4 different rooms since. I've made 920-ish videos since this one. That's how long this journey has been, right? From the first video that I made about PRX. And the reason that PRX holds a special place, you know, in my kind of, you know, channel's history is because anytime I made a video about PRX, particularly in these early days, right? You would always get in the comments. Always in the comments, you would see someone saying, thank you for making a video about Asian Valorant, because basically no one else is, right? No one else is watching APAC, right? Or certainly not making, you know, content like this about it, right? It wouldn't be on Plat Chat or anything like that. It would just happen, and maybe they talk about it during the internationals, right? Like, and so I always kind of prided myself on the fact that I did watch these games, right? I did watch these games, and I treated them exactly the same, you know, for NA or EU. But in reality, if I'm thinking about it, the truth of the matter is, one of the main reasons that I made videos about these games was because of PRX, right? Like, they were the reason. They play weird comps. They play a style that no one else does. It was interesting to watch and break down, right? So although I'm priding myself on, you know, the fact that I did do that, a lot of my videos at that time are still about PRX, right? Like, they are the focus, really. They are the story of that. Yeah, really, I owe something to PRX. The fact that they did play like this, right? Which did cultivate somewhat, perhaps more of an Asian audience than I would have otherwise had, right? Like, they helped me, essentially, in the way that they played. And now, they won an international. Sorry about getting emotional there, but I tried to record that multiple times. I couldn't do so without getting somewhat emotional, but it's fine. It's fine to be emotional, and we need more media with, you know, people showing real human emotions in it. So there you go. But we're going to pick up our story of PRX at this point, right? It's 10-7. It's round 18. It's map 4. If they win this map, they're going to win the tournament. And they're in a good spot, right? They're already up 10-7. And this round was the culmination of a couple rounds in a row of basically, you know, this is just quintessential PRX in every sense of the word.
But they've got a rally here and now, and that is not the best beginning for it. Alpha's gone, Kayak. Watching too many angles at once! What is that?
Something punished for those over towards Pearl. And here he comes up with the goods. Kayak tries to respond.
It's all on the rookie's shoulders, trying to shut them down. And nades! Rebounds, a bit of bullet tag. He's left down at 30 health. PRX, though, forwards. Ever relentless. It's an onslaught towards the A site. There's gaps in his timing. Oh boy. Papman has found it. Stepping forwards, Crashies looking to see if he can make the difference. Turn it around, jump it around. It's whimsical in nature. And PRX, maybe showing signs of the old mistakes. Clearing through, Crashies will be happy to capitalize. The 5 HP is not much to work with in Chronicle. Left to pick it all up. Left to pick it all up into the 1v1. Him versus Devi. Pits online. Devi!
So yeah, this round, I think, literally encapsulates everything about PRX in it, right? Just like everything at once, the highs, the lows are all in this round, right? It starts off with this, where, hey, we've got a cool anti-strat and we've got our Vice opping on attack, and we're gonna find the first kill from that, right? Because again, PRX, and actually the second kill that they get here as well, right? With something, hey, I'm gonna ult in a tree, you know, I'm gonna see some people, I'm gonna see Boaster, and I'm gonna kill him with a shorty. It's very PRX. The first 2 kills in this round, they come from an op and a shorty, right? Very, very PRX to start off with, right? Then, what goes on next? Well, we're gonna lose a kill just there. That's okay. But we got a lurking fade in B. Of course my fade is lurking. We're PRX, right? So of course it makes sense. It might not make sense to you, but it makes sense to us, and it works because we're PRX, right? So Batman's gonna get this kill, but then we come into the old PRX, right? Now it's a 4v2. Guys, we've won the round. Congratulations. Oh wait, we're PRX. So the round is not over yet because we're PRX, right? Well, yes, I am jumping through on my own with that. Yes, I did forget to reload my shorty, and I'm going to die for it, right? Yes, we're PRX. Everything about this round was just a culmination of everything, and it ends with Devi ultimately winning this 1v1 here against Chronicle. But at this point in the game, it felt like, oh, they're going to do it, right? Because here's the thing. They were winning these rounds, right? There was quite a few of these rounds like that, where it was very chaotic, messy, classic PRX, but they were winning them, right? And that was what was crucial, that they just kept winning them, and it felt like, okay, they're actually going to do this. But then we came to the next round, which was actually an eco for Fnatic, right? Yeah, they have a lot of ults, but so do PRX, right? So it's like, okay, well, this is your chance to get to 12, but here's the thing, PRX are going to lose against this eco. And normally when I say PRX are going to lose against an eco, you're probably expecting something very, very troll to happen, right? You're expecting some crazy overheat here in just a second, right? But actually, no. Right, they start with this little 4-1 default, right? They're holding for a B push. They got the wall here for any C push. You know, something here. He's going to open the door. You see this, and you look at this map, and you're thinking, oh no, what's about to happen? Right? You look at that map, and you're like, oh god. But no, he flashes through. He doesn't even go through the wall, right? They didn't troll here. This wasn't troll. And in fact, they're now going to, you know, marry on, go back over towards C, right? And start clearing out that. They've caused some pressure A. Devi, you know, avoids that Prowler just there. And now he's actually in a second, when the door kind of rotates a bit more, he's actually going to kill Boaster through the door here in just a second, right? So they even get the first kill. And now they're going to come and do an A exec, right? 5v4, we've grouped up, we've created pressure A. Now we're going C. Okay, Fnatic have read it decently well, where they got multiple players coming. But at this point, right, the round has not been trolled by PRX whatsoever. But now, Fnatic are going to start waking up and getting into this round.
It's all on Alpha. Boaster's been cleaned. Alpha in through the back. Pot shots, feeling like risky business needs to be taken. It's all on his shoulders to try and offset. Batman gone in through the back. Chronicle, he's right there with him.
How are they making this one work?
Cutting through.
40 seconds left, still guarded in the back pocket. Precisely for moments like this, and they want to step forward. Something hungry for the kills. Lockdown even being committed. Fnatic are throwing everything at this.
Jing has an ult to be able to work with, but I don't think he can get the angle on this. The ult, though, could easily deny the defuse. Jing could send it splashing against the back here.
That's what he's waiting for. Pre-aim, nightfall. Gone away. It's a tap onto it. Alpha's already taken out something. Best chance in a long while. And PRX, they bide their time. They don't use the ults. Fnatic are back in.
So yeah, it's a decent job by Fnatic here overall. Obviously, we see Alpha get a spam kill through a wall, I think, here. Actually, as he's retreating, right? So he gets flashed. He's going to get this kill now, right? So as he's backtracking, I mean, again, this is where we need the replay viewer to know fully. But, you know, it looks like here he gets flashed. And then as he's kind of going back, just hits a full just kill on Patman. Don't know if he could see anything or what. But then you've got Forsaken going, okay, he's going to try an aggro play. But the problem for Forsaken is, you know, he's in a position where kind of he's probably expecting the rest of the team to probably be maybe a little bit further ahead, right? And helping him out, you know, kind of create something a bit more here. But instead, he's kind of just ended up a bit isolated and kind of just getting pinched in from two sides. And then it's good by Fnatic, right? Now they realize they're in a 4v3. So at this point, I think Fnatic make the call like, hey, we can use ults, right? Like it's a 4v3. We're in a decent spot here. We can decide to go for these ults. And obviously they do, and they get rewarded for it. This Killjoy lockdown, you know, pushes them out. Here, I mean, again, another problem that they have is that Alpha also tagged Jing, right? Because if Jing doesn't get tagged here, I'm sure he probably thinks, well, I'll just ult this Killjoy lockdown, right? I'll just go in here, ult this, kill if anyone's there, destroy the lockdown if no one's there, if they all run away, and we'll just still play out the round, right? But because he's so low, you kind of can't do that because he's just going to die straight away. So then they ultimately end up retreating, as we see, and unfortunately for them, they planted the spike in a spot that, you know, just isn't accessible to Mound, and so they basically lost the round right then and there. And so this is how Fnatic, you know, started to get back in. But at this point still, it didn't feel like it was a disaster for PRX, right? As I say, it wasn't like they completely trolled the round. Fnatic, you know, got some nice kills and used their ults pretty well. But then we'd skip ahead to the next round, round number 20. And this is where something changed, because here we're in a 3v2. And really it is these two players that decided this wasn't going to be easy for PRX. These two decided to just lock in Chronicle and Althea. And this round it's going to be Chronicle. But when these two are locked in, good luck.
All depends how diligent he is.
And he's not precise enough. Chronicle is there with it in time. 2v2. Chronicle fast. Steps forwards with a snake bite. Plant is down though. Vulnerable applies and the thorns on top of it. Divide. Head not clean off Chronicle.
And if we skip ahead to the next round again, we get this position with 53 seconds left, which is PRX. They're going to do a B split, and Althea is here all alone. And I cannot stress to you how bad of a position this is to be in, right? Where he essentially just has one nanoswarm and turret protecting him. The rest of his team isn't going to be able to really help him too much here, right? It is him against the world here for Althea, and he does a magnificent job. I mean, they pop the pit down on A, but that's actually good for PRX, right? They see that, and that just confirms to them, hey, let's just do this B split now, right? And look at where he is right here. This is not where you want to be when people are coming in at you both directions, but the way that Alpha deals with this is immaculate.
Soon, but there could be no better player for Fnatic.
Locked down onto the floor. There's a horn to deal with, but what a peek. What a timing. Alpha finally coming online here.
Forsaken bullies his way through Boaster though. IGL diff and gets himself in a position. Althea though cannot be stopped.
He's feeling himself. Patman can't do it all against the might of Althea.
So at this point, it was actually looking really bad for PRX, right? And this is where you have to remember this game was 11-7 against an eco, right? And now after losing an eco of themselves, it got to 11-11. Okay, and at this point, if you're a PRX fan, the flashbacks to so many other moments for this team must have been coming in, right? We've seen this script happen a lot before. And in this round, they decided to just essentially go for a full A exec, right? And when PRX go for their A exec, they generally do this, right? Where they pretty much all go through tree. And that's what they do here, right? And the thing is, they Prowler crashes and they flash crashes here. That Prowler misses him. And if you're being lenient, you say, you know, this Prowler missed him and that's unfortunate. And there's a nade here and whatever, so he shouldn't be there. But if you aren't being lenient, you're saying what happens next is kind of inexcusable, because you'll see Chronicle gets a kill on Jing, and then Forsaken just completely ignores the fact that Crashies could be here whatsoever, and is going to get a free kill as well, right? But again, PRX will fight back somewhat, but Chronicle, again, decided Fnatic were going to win this game.
Alpin, Crashies will be falling, but time has been bought, and Chronicle gliding in, sliding in.
So now it's 11-12. You've thrown away the lead. It was 11-7. You're now losing, right? You've gone from winning comfortably to losing. The pressure is getting to them, and they have to win this round. What they decide to go for is just a straight C exec. Now, luckily for them in this round, they had an ult advantage. They had 3 ults versus Fnatic's 0 ults. So let's see how they managed to win, because it wasn't easy.
He's been hot and cold with them, let's say.
Operator Alpha.
Who's next?
Looking in your face, TP forwards, and that's what that dimensional drift spots it out. Something. Guiding the rest of his team in.
Here.
Not far behind him, a bit of spamming to the back of the box. This is it. Play for OT, play for map 5. All on the line for them. Something with the exit all the way out. Alpha's all the way in. And Chronicle just drops them in their tracks. Alpha cleans up Boaster.
So I'm going to pause it just there, because I've paused it at the moment that I think PRX won this tournament. And it's very, very small, because if we take a look at their initial exec I quite like, right? Like, you're going to end up with something in full CT. You know, they come through the choke point together, right? We get a very good trade initially, you know, coming out. Their util isn't bad. Good trade by Forsaken. They now get in. I mean, Fnatic do a great job. I have always, like, Alpha and Chronicle on the C site it's hard to deal with. But this right here, it's this moment that I think that they win the tournament. Because I want you to watch Devi, and I want you to watch Patman. And what's interesting is, of course, Patman is the new player who has never been in this situation before. But they get this kill on Alpha just here. And Patman is going to run back. Now just watch Devi. He's going to think about it and then run back, right? They're in a 3v3. They don't need to go and hunt for this kill. And when I watched this back, I thought, old PRX probably do something stupid where one of them runs back, one of them runs forward, dies, they lose the 3v2 and they lose the tournament. And we say, oh, classic PRX. But in this moment, we got the good PRX. The PRX that decided no. Look, Devi, you see him go to swing. Patman runs away, and so Devi runs away as well. Right? Look, he goes to go for it. But then he decides no. And we end up in a solid 3v3. And I do think that that moment really, really mattered. Because if one of them did swing and die there, they are in a very bad spot again.
Huge players from Fnatic dropped. Kron and Alpha gone. Fnatic are going to have to try to close with only Kayak and Crashies.
It rebounds. PRX looking to stay alive in this map. Fnatic want to send it that much deeper. TPs all around, sowing chaos into the mix. Crashies deep in the seas and a Haunt on top of it. Yuto could not be even better there. But stops to the side. Patman double dashing in. We are going the distance.
So yeah, because they made the right decision, the Valorant gods decided, you know what? I'm going to bless you with a spam kill here through the smoke and through the wall. Forsaken just instantly locks into Boaster's head and kills him through both a wall and a smoke, right? Like, yeah, you do get blessed for doing that. And then Patman again here, just insane, right? Because again, this is kind of breaking down, you know, Devi, you know, is putting out util, so isn't fully covering for this, right? This should be a free one. But he manages to do that, and he scrapes them over the line. And now we went to OT. Still not job done, but at least they survived. And what's interesting is that when you get to these moments, right? OT, map 4, grand final, even the most experienced teams can make mistakes, because Fnatic make a pretty big blunder here overall, right? Again, PRX, they're going to come out for this A aggro over here. But Fnatic, they're basically just going to, you know, go a bit faster, right? Fnatic had found some success later in their attacking half by essentially just, you know, kind of running it down a bit and playing a lot faster than they normally used to, right? We're going to get a bit of a thing here from Alfia, who again just felt like a raid boss that, you know, like really was a problem. But the problem they're going to have, and you're going to see it now, is Boaster only has one smoke for this, right? So he's going to smoke this off. But just take a look. Crashies has the spike. They're going to get destroyed by this Vice Wall just here. And Crashies is going to try and throw the spike to Boaster. But it's going to drop on the floor. So whilst they're all dealing with that, there is no smoke in CT. And it's a big blunder here from Fnatic.
And now full speed ahead. Fnatic baited out, TP's in. Boaster going to be rejoining Kayak, trying to take control of this. Smart to the corner. But you're out in the open. And Forsaken and Devi collecting all sorts of kills and attempt to even it out. Kayak still has that control. PRX all the way in. PRX are the ones in control.
But now let's come to the final round, which honestly couldn't have ended in a more fitting PRX way. And I'll explain why when we get there. But to start off, this round doesn't go that great for PRX, right? But again, I like the way that they start. This is not a team that is panicking, right? Like, you're on map point now, you know, to win your first ever tournament, but I quite, you know, this is controlled, it's measured, it has a plan to it, right? Like, we go for a BC default here, right? Where we're gonna then open the door so that no one can be aggro here, while something playing Yoru is walking out A, right? We're getting a lot of control from this, okay? We're pushing them back on C, we're pushing them back on A by him just being here, like, this is all good, right? I really like this from PRX. The start of this round, like, if you look at the control that they've got now, right, they've taken all of B, they've now got all of C mound as well, you know, and you've got something creating pressure on A. So if you're Fnatic, it's quite difficult because essentially it's pressure everywhere, right? Everyone feels like they have pressure coming towards them. So it's quite good by PRX. But now, as they decide to come and group up and go towards this A site, you can see they start pinging it out. They're just going to get a little bit lackadaisical, and our boy Alfia is going to spoil the party.
Close out early.
Fnatic are going to be forced to dig deep here. Pressure mounting. PRX putting it on them. Alarmbot dealt with the paranoia sweeps. Forwards, Alpha. Playmaker once more. Him and Chronicle.
So again, Alpha and Chronicle decide Fnatic are not losing this game. They are going to win this game. But now the most PRX thing ever is going to happen. It's a 4v2, right? And Fnatic, of course, are going to play it very cautiously, very safe, you know, like you should in a lot of these spots, right? Don't give away any free kills, you know, perfectly fine. We start tapping the spike, now they're going to plant the spike here on B, right? And at this point, I was screaming to Fnatic, group up, right? Group up and just go. Maybe as a 1-3, maybe even as in a full 4. But what instead they decide to do is split up. And as soon as they decided to split up, I knew there was going to be some problems. And there is merit to splitting up, right? You're essentially just going to tighten this net around PRX. And if you take a look at the map now, you're like, this does not look very good for PRX, right? But I just want to highlight this right now because this is the most PRX thing that has ever happened. Forsaken smokes this off in response to the tap of the door from Boaster. Okay? And that makes perfect sense, right? And to Boaster here, you have to put yourself into Boaster's mindset of what is about to happen next. Because he sees this smoke from Forsaken, and he thinks, well, obviously that means that they're here, right? Obviously, they can't be in here. Why would you smoke yourself off, right? So in Boaster's head, he's thinking, okay, they're somewhere here, you know, maybe trying to get aggro somewhere else, but they're not near me. But instead, Forsaken, as soon as he puts this smoke down, decides to push into it. And he's going to push out of it. And this is the thing about PRX. That this smoke for any other team means that you're somewhere on site and you're not coming into B main. For PRX, they don't play by the same rules. And I think it's so fitting that you see so many times PRX randomly push through smokes. And sometimes they look like a genius. And sometimes they look like complete idiots. But they always do it. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And again, this time, the Valorant gods decided they were going to smile on Forsaken for this play, and it was going to work. And then, they were going to win the round.
Patience is there, but the paranoia, hold on, you out with your hand, Forsaken, he's out of the fights, and something is wrecking them from on high. PRX do it all!